What's going on, grappling fans?
First, I think we nervous to stay mentally in the game.
Were those for each side? All our matches have been pretty close. What's up, grappling fans? Welcome back to another episode of Who's Number One. I hope you're all having a great Friday out there. I've been waiting around for this episode all week long. We have a very special guest, one of the biggest personalities in the sport, talking about ADCC champion, Big Orlando Sanchez. What's going on, Big O? How are you, man?
What's up, baby? What's up? Coronavirus in the hood. What's up, guys?
It's wild times out there. We also got Bear from Shoyro on the call. Bear, how you doing today? What's new?
Oh, that's my
doing good.
Just
right enjoying Orlando's shirt. Stop making whack grapplers famous.
Hey, we may have had a hand in that, but we're not perfect. Our track record, it's ups and downs out there.
Man. Good Lord, FloGrappling, man. I'm gonna be like Donald Trump, call you guys fake news. You guys are fake news.
We're the only news these days.
Fake news.
Big O, how you been staying busy out there? What are you doing to keep your mind right and during the quarantine?
Man, I can't tell you that on live TV here. I'll go to jail. Man. It's been tough, let me tell you. It's been tough, man. Especially dealing with like a brain like mine. It's hard. It is hard. Not only is it hard to stay indoors, I don't anyways. I'll just go drive around just to get my mind right. But, there's one thing that my therapist always says. She says, Orlando, you're like the kind of guy who, normal people like to ride roller coasters and they get a kick out of a roller coaster. She says, but you have to ride a roller coaster with no seatbelt, with glass in the seat. It's on fire, and the track is broken. So that's kind of my life. And it's been tough, man. It's been tough. It's been real tough. But, I find my support in my family, man, my kids. Whenever I start trying to get offline or whatever, I just look back at my kids, and they're the ones who kind of bring me back in line, make me settle down and focus, So it's been tough, though, man. I really feel with a lot of people out there who are suffering, especially with mental health, which nobody's talking about, which is crazy. Everybody's talking about corona, dying, corona death. Man, I guarantee you there's so many suicides that are not counted for right now, so much abuse, so much depression, so much that is not being spoken about that I'm trying to make a voice for. And, it's painful, man. It's painful times, dude. That's for sure. It's painful times.
What are you doing to kill the time right now? You work. I've been seeing a lot of videos you working out at home and stuff, huh?
Yeah, I had to build my little home gym real fast, and I just, I get my training on, and then I got a lot of side work that I do, man, that a lot of people don't know about. And I'm just in business dealings kind of all day long as much as I can do. There's some big projects that I'm working on that are outside of the realm of jiu-jitsu. But, other than that, just trying to find things to keep the day going. I play with my puppies. I'm really into dogs. Those of you who've seen my puppies, I've got some real high-caliber puppies. And I got a new puppy recently and working and playing with them. And just moved into a new house recently. I didn't get a FloGrappling article like Gordon Ryan did. But I bought a $2 million house on 2 acres in Los Angeles. But
that's fake. That's fake news right there. We did not do a new article about. Did we do an article about Gordon Ryan buying his house?
I don't think we did.
That's somebody else. You're talking about another website.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's FloGrappling. Shout out to Gordon Ryan. Congratulations on your house. I love you, buddy. Gordon Ryan, he's awesome.
Bear, what are you up to these days with the quarantine?
Man, just trying to do push-ups and sit-ups like Orlando, at least the baby version of what he's doing. He's probably doing like circuits and injecting like power fuel like into the wall and like running into it. But yeah, just like everybody else, man. I'm way too fucking bored of push-ups and way too fucking bored of sit-ups. I'll just tell you that much.
Dude, everybody's, at least you're doing push-ups and sit-ups. Everybody's posting these goofy things online where, like, you fill up a backpack with some T-shirts and swing it around your head and shit. It's like, can't you just do pull-ups and run around like everybody? everybody's trying to come up with innovative new ways to work out at home. And there's a little... All right, so Big O.
Yo.
Before we move on, I want to hear about your life story and stuff. First off, let's clear the air. You always wear the shirt, stop making whack grapplers famous. You called us fake news. Who are the whack grapplers that we're making famous? Who?
No, I love you guys, man. I love you guys. This is one of those things that it's a general description. If you feel offended by the shirt, then it's probably you. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like it has something to do with you, or you think I'm wearing it for you, then it's probably you.
I'm definitely a whack grappler.
That's fair.
What else you doing to kill the time over there? Besides, I mean, you're still working on business stuff, working out. You watching any shows or movies over there? What are you up to?
Man, Netflix. Shout out to Esteban Oriol, my homie, Mr. Cartoon, my good homie. Those are two of my boys. Shout out to them. They've been top 10 in Netflix for last week since April 10th. They came out with their documentary.
What's it called?
It's like LA Original. Is that
LA Originals.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Those are two good friends of mine, longtime friends. Absolutely love those guys, and I'm so happy for them to see them, really work all these years to finally make it on the mainstream. So shout out to Cartoon and Oriol, Esteban Oriol, man. They've did a really good job on that documentary. So I suggest if you haven't seen it, watch that. Last night I watched my buddy Chris D'Elia's new show. Chris D'Elia is a good friend. His show was awesome. His show is funny. He's a stand-up comedian, if you guys don't know.
Yeah.
Just killing the time, man. Just killing time at night and hanging out in the jacuzzi steam room, and then just working on myself, my health, my mental health, trying to stay online as much as I can. Got a sauna and steam room at the house.
Bro, you got a sauna and steam room in your house? Dude, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. If FloGrappling would have done an article on my house, we could have gone over that stuff. But, I'm nobody. I'm nobody.
I'm all for doing an MTV Crib style show when this is over.
Don't you even. I tried to come to your house. I tried to come to your house during the Daisy Fresh film, and you ghosted us. So don't even come to me.
I love you guys, man.
Bro, I'm jealous, man. I'm a big sauna guy myself, and the gym's been closed down for a minute.
I can't tell you, the timing of this whole situation. I probably would have not been able to be here, sitting as a complete person if I wouldn't have bought this new house that we live in. We would have stayed in our old house and had to be locked down with 3 kids my 8 kids are 2.5, 5.5, 2.5, 6, and 8. And they are as energetic or more energetic than myself. So, I mean, look at this little princess right here. She's a little nutcase, this one. I love her to death, but she's crazy. And then this one over here, this is little O. This is little Orlando.
What up, little
He's crazy as well.
He's crazy.
And, we're good crazy. He's a beast. He's only 8 years old. He's already smashing all the fools in class, smashing all the teenagers, taking after daddy. But yeah, if we wouldn't have got this new house and we wouldn't have moved in time for this lockdown Corona stuff, bro, it would have been crazy. There's no way I could have made it. No way. At least it's hard at the house, but at least we have 2 acres and, we get air and, space to breathe and we're not on top of it. So we're lucky on that sense.
Did you check out that Tiger King show?
I saw a few episodes, man. And dude, that was all over the place. My wife and I would watch it as we were going to bed some nights. Bro, it was all I would remember watching. I was falling asleep, and I stopped at the part where it was gay meth, I was on another planet there. I was like, Trisha, what are we watching, dude? It was crazy.
It started getting good at that point. There's 10 more layers.
I got it now that all the hype's gone. I got to go back and revisit it and watch that thing, man. That thing was crazy, though, man. I tell you. But that right there, see that right there is talking about of our country, right? Our country's so crazy that right there took over. We're having a coronavirus pandemic. People are dying, and that took frontline news for 2 weeks, right? just like FloGrappling likes to do all the drama, I guess just the world does all the drama, just like that for 2 weeks. So pretty funny stuff, though. I got to go back and watch it.
We failed to capitalize on the Tiger King hype.
Yeah,
It's come up
man,
in the podcast
yeah.
though a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Daisy Fresh was our Tiger King.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. That's for sure. Oh, that's for sure, man.
I'm a little
Shout out
afraid
to
of how
Heath and those
accurate that
guys.
comparison is. Hey, Big O, one thing we've been asking all of our guests that come on, people who watch the show do jiu-jitsu, and everyone's kind of scrambling, trying to figure out how they keep their head in the game, how they can improve. Do you have any tips or advice you can give people out there to kind of keep their jiu-jitsu sharp, or something they can work on at home?
Man. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Like if you're one of these young guys, or if you're a competitor still, and you need to do something, I mean, a lot of these guys, what I'm noticing is a lot of them live together, right? A lot of these up-and-comers, they all have a roommate or something, so they can. But for the occasional guys who are by themselves, you got to figure out stuff to do, man. You can strengthen your fingers, strengthen your core, jump over a damn chair. Like, it doesn't matter. Just stay active, stay moving, and then it's all here, man. It's all here. Keep your mind prepared. Watch jiu-jitsu. Think jiu-jitsu. Imagine yourself fighting. Imagine yourself in a tournament. Imagine yourself getting your hand raised. Imagine yourself going through the motions. Like, that stuff to me is 90% of the battle. That's why people have seen me show up to tournaments fat as fuck, out of shape, and I still win. You know what I mean? Because it's all here. I've been preparing myself for so many years. So prepare yourself mentally and keep moving, man. Just keep moving. You can do a lot of stuff with a damn pillow and a chair, and with nothing, just movements, footwork. There's a will, there's a way.
I wanted to get into with you a little bit. I've talked with you before about your story, about your history. I want to get into your origin a little bit. What you did before jiu-jitsu, how you got into jiu-jitsu. Like, you were like a college football player or something at one point, right?
Yeah, man. I was like, since birth, and what's crazy is, like, I see it in my son now. He's 8 years old. My oldest son is 8, and he's Orlando Jr., and I see it in him now. I mean, anything this kid does, he's just unbelievably talented, coordination, movement, all that kind of stuff. And ever since I was a little kid, I remember I was just amazing at everything, always really athletic, always loved sports, and played soccer for as long as I could remember, baseball, just played everything. And then I started getting bigger. Then I got into high school. Then I started playing football. I got into football. And then once I got into football, that kind of took over for a while, for almost a decade there. And then went on to play. I was recruited by some schools, but back in those days, I didn't have grades at that time, and became ineligible for some math classes because I didn't have the right math classes. And ended up going to junior college. Went to the Pasadena City College, where we ended up in the national championship bowl game for junior college that year. And then from there, I ended up at Azusa Pacific University, with small Christian university, which every time I would walk on campus, my body would start burning on fire.
Nogi World was there. I did Nogi World there one year.
Yeah. They just started to. So I was like, Satan in the dress, like walking around there, Satan. And no, I'm just playing. And then I played football there, and we had an awesome team. We actually went to the NAI National Championships the year I was there. So I was always on like these big championship teams, and played football, and then played football until I was 22. Then I had my senior year, I had a serious bicep injury. I tore my bicep, and from there, you obviously don't make it to the NFL when you're fucking 4'11" like me, and you're just not, you just don't make it. So that was when the shit hit the fan for me, and that's where things get really ugly. And I try to talk to jiu-jitsu people about this too, and help my younger guys and girls, but it's hard to talk sense into youngins, man, let me tell you. But at that age, so I'm done with football, and I've dedicated 12 years of my life to it, and then nobody tells you that you have to win in real life now, so I didn't know what the hell I was going to do, man. I was 22 years old, 21 years old, nothing to do, and what I was really, really good at was just doing drugs, partying. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do drugs and party and hang out with girls and do my thing. So that lasted for like a long time, and got myself into some serious trouble with drug abuse and now I look back and I had addiction, but didn't know at the time. At the time, I thought I was just being fun and having parties, and spent like all of my 20s almost until I was about 26, 27. Just doing drugs and partying, man, just destroying my life, destroying my brain, destroying my body, and got up to like 360 pounds, and it was a crazy time. I mean, there's times where I sit there and I look back on my life and like there's big, huge patches that I have no clue what happened. Like I don't even remember, and like things are hazy. It's pretty wild, man. Sometimes when I think back upon it, but at 26, 27, that age, I knew I was gonna die. Like that was it. I had been dealing drugs for so long, been doing drugs for so long, like, just being in such bad circles of people all the time, just shady shit. When you're dealing with drugs and money and guns and drug dealing and all that kind of stuff, that like there's no good things are going to happen from there. Put that with me at like 350 pounds, my own health, my own attitude. It was just a perfect storm being created. And then came the night that I almost died in my own bed. I couldn't breathe. My heart was going to explode. I was got so bad. I was doing an ounce of cocaine a day, which if you break that down, it's like $1,000 an ounce almost. Sometimes you're talking about 30 grand a month in drugs, and then it takes a toll on you, man. And I finally had to realize that I needed to do something. And that something that I found was eventually Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. At first, I asked a buddy of mine, I was like, hey, I need help, dude. I need to do something. Because I was always in the business. I was always managing gyms or running gyms and stuff. Because in my early 20s, I did some bodybuilding competitions. And when you're a bodybuilder, you can get away with being 380 pounds and just say you're off season, So you just wear sweatpants. So I would wear sweatshirts and sweatpants, and it'd be like 800 degrees outside, and I'd be sweating, and I'd just be like 380 pounds full of steroids and fucking cocaine, and walking around the gym like, oh yeah, I'm off season, bro. I'm off season, bro. And and finally I caught up to me, man, and laying in bed that night, and yada yada, and I talked to a buddy of mine. I'll never forget this guy, Ricky Delgado. Shout out to Ricky Delgado. I said, hey man, can you help me, bro? I need some help, man. I need to do something. I've played sports aggressively my whole life, and I've lost that fire for the last 6-7 years. I need to find something. And he's like, oh man, why don't you start boxing? And so he started like holding mitts for me, and from holding mitts, we went to his school that he was training at called Sit Yatong in Pasadena with Crew Walter McCloskey. Shout out Crew Walter McCloskey. He's my boy. I love that guy to death. Went to his school and I started Muay Thai. And I was so fat and so massive that I had to get Walmart sweatpants and cut them, $5 sweatpants, and cut them into shorts. It was so gangster.
Oh, man.
It was awesome. Because no Muay Thai short. No, I would get the Muay Thai shorts that were 6Xs, XXXXL, and they would like go up to my calf, man. It was hilarious. So I wore these sweatpants and shorts, and I started doing some Muay Thai. Got into it, I loved it, and then in that gym is where I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they would always have guys coming in. And guy came in one day and was kind of grappling with some other dudes, and then he asked me to grapple, and from there I was like, yeah, I'll grapple, whatever. I don't know what it is. It was no gi and didn't have my shit on, and just a shirt and some shorts, and I was all big and tough thinking, and long story short, this guy, dude, he was a black belt at the time, and I was, nobody. He beat the living shit out of me, dude. Like, I remember just popping elbows, getting choked. Like, it was crazy. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm doing, And after that roll, I was like, this is it. I'm going to do this jiu-jitsu shit, man. This jiu-jitsu shit is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this jiu-jitsu shit. So picture this. Those of you who have been around jiu-jitsu. 26, 27 year old, 360-pound, fucking clueless white belt coming off of drugs, and he's saying to everybody that he's gonna be a world champion and that he's gonna do jiu-jitsu and he's gonna be the best. So that was me. And imagine how many people laughed at me back then at my age. So that's where the journey began. Shortly after that, I found, I was working out at that gym with this guy, Pete Hahn, for a while, a black belt named Pete Hahn. Freddie Sabatini was there teaching a couple of classes, Professor Freddie, Professor Pete Hahn. And then shortly after there, I got hooked up with a guy. And then from there is right when I met Romulo Bahal. Romulo Bahal came from Brazil, landed here from Brazil, didn't speak English. I didn't speak Portuguese at the time. And then there was a match made in heaven, dude. Me and Professor Romulo Bahal, we literally trained, like after a couple months that I started, I got connected with him, and we trained every single day for twice a day. Once in the morning and once at night. I would go out he had a little place he was training at in Encino, and I would go out there with him, and we would train. That's when we met Edwin. Edwin was a 14-year-old white belt at that time. So it was like, first it was me and Romulo by ourselves, me, Romulo, and Edwin. Edwin joined the mix, and I mean, dude, you're talking old school, man. And it was a little crew back then. I mean, those were some crazy memories, dude. It was like a little school, and they had started. Nothing like today. We're talking, what was it, 2008? Starting about 2008, and it was awesome because Professor Romulo was in the prime. He had gotten black belt of the year 2008, and then he hurt his shoulder. He has shoulder surgery, and then when he came back from here, like 2009. Training, and he started working with me, and he would just beat my ass. So all he would do was kick my ass. Like, that's it. He would just kick my ass, and I could take a beating, so he loved it. So I would just come in just like, I'd try to fight him with all my heart, and I would not quit ever, and he would just beat the shit out of me. So that's how I got good. That's how I started jiu-jitsu. I never did a fundamentals class. I just got my ass kicked I got my ass whipped by Professor Romulo Bahal, and that's how I got so good at understanding grips and spider guard and getting my ass kicked and all that kind of stuff. He was and then from there, we've been together ever since. He gave me my black belt. He gave me my black belt 4 years after I started, and it was pretty amazing. I did my first tournament like 2-3 months into training jiu-jitsu. It was at the LA Convention Center, and I was driving down to the tournament. I had no idea what the rules were and shit. I was like, what do I do? And ended up winning that tournament. I have a picture of me and Romulo at that tournament with my gold medal on. I was wearing a big old black lucky gi with a big old thick white belt, and then I literally won every single tournament I did all the way. I think my first loss was at the Abu Dhabi Pro. Actually, no, it was like the Abu Dhabi Pro, like around purple belt. I think I had won my boy Big Willie. And like blue belt at the World.
Is this guy from Lloyd Irvin?
That's Muhammad's boy.
Yeah.
Muhammad was on here talking about this guy the other day, Big Willie.
Oh, Big Willie's my man, dude. So it was me and Big Willie forever. So it was
Big
me
Willie
and
on
him.
this podcast, dude.
Oh, he's the man. Big Willie's the man, dude. He's such a cool, nice guy, dude. And he made me so much better. And people don't understand how good opponents can make you so much better, and he always really pushed me, because I would like smash everybody and kill everybody, and I was just doing it on sheer will and strength and power and all that, and then I would fucking fight him in the finals of everything. And dude, it wasn't until
you and Big Willie at purple belt, that was probably some epic battles.
We battled that blue belt, we battled that purple belt. And then after purple belt, I beat him at brown belt, and then I didn't lose again to him. And then he's kind of stopped training after that a little bit and got into some stuff. But he's an awesome dude, man. I love that guy. We went to Abu Dhabi together two times. I mean, we've traveled the world together. He was Lloyd Irvin's, like, I think he still is Lloyd Irvin's most successful guy. He won double gold every belt, Like, he was the man, dude. He was really good, dude.
Yeah, people are forgetting about him, though. People are forgetting, like, he literally closed every single division and he like won everything. His name is Big Willie because of a reason. Like, dude's big and he won every single
He's massive.
Except for the ones that you beat him at.
Massive.
Like,
he is massive. He's so big, and like in my early age, like white belt, blue belt, purple belt, like I didn't have the technique, and I didn't really understand jiu-jitsu. So I was still like not good enough, not big enough. He was 2-3 times my size. I mean, he's massive, guys, and he has a wrestling base, a wrestling background, big time wrestler. So he understands head control, and he was way ahead of me until I fought him at brown belt, and I pulled guard, and I actually used jiu-jitsu to beat him. And that's when he was so cool, man. Great. He was really close with DJ Jackson. Him and DJ would always close out everything. And then came Keenan. Let's not forget Keenan was Lloyd Irvin, and winning everything with those guys too. It was always Keenan, DJ Jackson, and Willie Leonard. They would win everything. And then
João Gabriel in Brazil.
Yeah, until I went and I beat him. In Brazil.
Who were some other big names that you fought at the color belts, at purple and brown and stuff?
So purple. Let me see. I beat the Meow at purple. I beat the Meow when I was. That was a cool story in Abu Dhabi Pro.
Which Meow?
I don't remember which one it was, man. It was when they landed in Abu Dhabi, right? And there was this huge buzz. I don't know if you remember this, Bear. But everybody was talking. Everybody was talking about these two little Japanese Brazilian kids, and they were saying, "Man, like," and they were like tiny guys, and they said they were there all week, and no black belt could pass their guard. Remember? And like because they stay on the mats and train, and everybody, like, nobody could fuck with them. And I love those kids. I became the biggest fans of those kids. They're my favorite jiu-jitsu guys. Those guys are the best. And we were in Abu Dhabi Pro, and it was like the second or third Abu Dhabi Pro, and I was a purple belt. And that was one of my best tournaments. I smashed everybody, like double. I got to the finals of both divisions, and then I like destroyed my ribs in the first 10 seconds of the finals. But I fought like DJ Jackson. I fought the Meow, one of the Meow brothers, tapped DJ, and then passed the Meow brothers guard. Who else did I fight? I fought the Sheik's son. I popped the Sheik's son's arm. That dude.
Faisal?
It was cool, man. Faisal popped his arm in the tournament. It was fun, man. It was, I don't know, it was cool times back then, man. It was a good time. Those tournaments were crazy, man. But yeah, the Meow fight was crazy, and somebody had a recording of it. And I swear, man, I'm so upset I still don't have that recording. But it was so crazy. I was 3 times his size, and I just pressure passed, like going. Finally, I got far enough to his side that the referee gave me points, and then I said, "Fuck this, I'm done." I let him pull his guard back. There was like a minute left. He put his guard back, and I'm like, "Fuck, I'm just chilling." And he was, dude. And this was when they were like really, really passionate. Do you remember that, Bear? They were so passionate. They would like cry, like scream in the middle of the match, and one of the brothers would scream from the sideline, and then the other one would it was crazy, man. They were so hyped up. And I remember when I passed the guard and they gave me 3 points, he started screaming, "No passou, juiz, no passou." He's like crying in the match. I was like, oh my God, this is trippy, dude. And it was crazy, man. But yeah, it's been fun, man. I battled a lot of those dudes. I fought who did I fight? Renato Cardoza in Brazil. That was one of my best tournaments. I'm the only brown belt ever to double gold in Brazil at the Brazilian Nationals. That's not Brazilian. And down there, I fought Renato Cardoza, João Gabriel, bunch of the big name Brazilian guys that were up in that time.
Man, what was that trip like? Going to Brazil is kind of a rite of passage for a lot of people.
Oh man, that was awesome, man. That was such a fun trip, dude. That was a trip, to remember, dude. That was my first time to Brazil. I had flown a Gracie Barra up in the northern part of the country. I stayed there for a week training. It was super hot up in like Recife area. And dude, it was like 120 degrees, dude, and I couldn't last for a minute. So I was up there training, and then the week of the fight, I flew back into Rio, and then got ready, and then I fought, and I just had a great tournament, man. It was like I tell these kids that I coach, and I tell them, man, like, tournaments are crazy. I learned this from Professor Homla. Like, some tournaments, some days, it's just everything clicks and everything just goes your way, and then you got to just kind of believe in yourself and you just got to go through the motion. You can't get too hyped. You can't think too much. You just got to let your body take over. And that was definitely one of those days that I felt like I was almost like an outer body experience. I had 10 matches outside in the tennis club. It was so hot. I mean, it was crazy, dude. I'm dripping sweat. And, of course, so I'm American, right? This is a great story. So I go to fight Joao Gabriel in the finals. And everybody's pissed because I already won my division. And I'm some American punk, right? So they're trying to do everything to shut me down. So I'm wearing my only gi that I had, and it was 120 degrees in this damn tin fucking tennis hut that we were fighting in or whatever. And I'm so hot, right? So Mansour, dude, comes by and touches my gi and says, "Oh, it's too wet. You can't fight. You can't fight with that gi." I said, "What are you talking about, bro? I've been fighting with this gi all day. Like, this is the finals, man."
Oh no, on a cliffhanger.
Sorry.
Oh, we're back. All right. So
Sorry, we're back. I just got a call. And he told me, so Alvaro Mansour, the head referee down there, who actually, Joao Gabriel's master or whatever.
Yeah,
They're all related. So he comes over and tells me, "Oh, your gi's too wet. You can't fight like that. Sorry. If you don't find another gi, you can't fight." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm standing here by myself. The only other person here is Romulo, because he was down there fighting, and he coached me every fight. And I'm like, "Okay, bro, there was this Brazilian guy. I'm going to find this picture, and I'm going to send it to you. There's this Brazilian guy sitting up in the stands all by himself. Just this dark-skinned Brazilian dude, and he's sitting there, and he goes like this to me. He's like, waves me over. He's like, "Here, use my gi. Bro, talk about gangster-ass Brilliant gi. It had, like, fucking pizza patches on it. It had every patch you could think of. I was fucking Brazilian out, bro. I was straight Brazil. And it was like an old Atama, dude. It fucking stunk. Had patches. It had, like, rest on the back. It said, like, "Rest in peace" to some homie from the favela. Like, dude, it was crazy.
That sounds epic, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I put this gi on. And I go out and I fight. And, Romulo's screaming. Romulo's fucking pumping me up. And boom, I beat Joao Gabriel in the finals. A couple advantages or whatever. And fuck, at that time I was happier than shit. I got 3, and I have a picture, and I'll send it to you guys of me in this gi that's all blue, patched up, raised a hand, and Joao was pissed, and he took off, and it was funny, man. It was a great trip, man. And those are the memories that I love about. What's up?
A lot of people don't realize, like, that stayed in time, right? Like, now we're so, like, we know what's happening now with, like, the double gold person, like a Victor Hugo wins something.
Exactly.
But that time,
like nobody, and that's the crazy thing is, like, I think about my career, right? Like, if I had FloGrappling, and this is kind of part of, like, the shirt and everything that I joke about. Like, if I had something like FloGrappling, and I shout out to FloGrappling because they have elevated the sport fucking leaps and bounds. They are like IBJJF, caliber. That, you know what I mean? Like, IBJJF has done so much for jiu-jitsu. FloGrappling has also. I always give FloGrappling a hard time and I tease them, but I love them. They have given jiu-jitsu so much, because imagine, dude, those are the best guys. And there's some of those guys are still the best guys today. I don't really compete much, but I still jump in there and I'll still fucking fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. You know what I mean? Joao Gabriel's still one of the best guys in the world.
You said you beat Renato Cardozo, who was basically the best brown belt in the world at that time, beating everybody. And Joao Gabriel, nobody could touch him. Like you beating those guys in Brazilian nationals is like a big deal. Like, it was huge.
It's a big deal. And then I get home, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm the fucking man. And then in Gracie magazine, there's a fucking, like, little bitty little fucking
last
word.
page. Yeah.
Last page on the fucking back, underneath some fucking, fucking Atama gi ad that says Orlando. Like you got to use a fucking Orlando Sanchez fucking beats all the Brazilians' ass in Brazilian nationals. Like what the? Imagine if I had FloGrappling. Imagine like
that'd be a huge story. I mean, it is a huge story.
I think about those days, man. You know what I'm saying? I think about that, like and I've been blessed, man, with a great career in jiu-jitsu, and I've done well to be myself and to be real as fuck and never sell out, never be a bitch, and always be true to myself. You know what I'm saying? And Bear's been with me since day one, man. Bear gave me my first gi that was like I was a blue belt, and I went to win the world championship in the gi that he gave me. I still have it hanging on my wall, actually, right here. I got to show you guys now. It's part of the story.
Yeah,
check
take
this
us
out,
over, man.
Bear gave me this gi right there. That's that was the first A2H ever made. And listen to this. So Bear was all fat as fuck, and fat. And he was wearing khaki.
Bro, I was working.
He was listen to the story. Listen to the story. He was fat as fuck. He was wearing khakis and a tucked in fucking shirt, and he would come from work, his job, right? And he would meet me at the Shoei-Roll little room. There was like a little office they had. It was a room, and they had like a little locker with like a couple gis on top. And he was fucking the man, dude. It was 9 o'clock at night. He would come out of fucking his job, and he would meet me at Shoei-Roll, and he would hand me this gi, like, when nobody was wearing Shoei-Roll and shit, and he believed in me, man, since day one. I have never taken a sponsorship offer. I have never taken a sponsorship anything. I've never taken a sponsorship deal. I've never taken money. I have never taken shit. Never taking shit. I worked my ass off just to pay my respects to Bear and fight for the loyalty and that kind of shit. And then when push came to shove, Bear took care of me. You know what I mean? And that's what people are missing nowadays. People will fucking sell their soul for a goddamn t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Fucking I'm sponsored by this team today. Now I'm sponsored by there's no loyalty anymore in jiu-jitsu, man. There's no I don't see that anymore. It's fucked up. And what happens is it creates a weird situation because it's no more team sport. It's just more like every man for themselves and everybody's down to fuck each other over. And I mean, fuck, we can go on about the stories about how many times I've been fucked over, and it's sad, man. It's sad, but Bear can never say that I ever went out and fucked him over or disrespected my loyalty to the brand of Shoei-Roll and all that, man. And I take pride in that. I'll take a lot of pride in that because you don't see that, man. You don't see people that are willing to put that kind of much love and effort and sacrifice. Sure, could I have made $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 going somewhere else and wearing some thing in a tournament, or what I'm saying? No, yeah, I could have, but I never did, man. I never did.
Somebody jumped in the YouTube comments, said Big Willie's name was William Leonard. So
Willie Leonard. Yeah.
You mentioned how the brown belts and stuff didn't used to get any. I think that's why that Kumite thing blew up so much. You guys remember that Kumite that Lloyd put on YouTube? Because that was the only way to see those guys.
Orlando.
Back in those days, yes.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
I was just gonna say, back in those days, and dude, we're not even talking. I'm talking like I'm fucking 100 years old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This was only 10 years old. This was only 10 years ago. Back in that time, which is so not long ago, there was a thing, dude. There was not only people who got coverage were Hodger, Braulio, right? Homolo, your handful of black belts that were connected to Gracie Mag, and dude, they earned it. They put in their work, but that was all. That's it. Gracie Mag was the only thing there, and everybody. You'd have to wait till the issue came out. This was 10 years ago, guys. 12 years ago. You'd have to wait till the issue came out, and then you'd go through it and you'd read all the cool facts about what happened in the tournaments and stuff. It was crazy. It's crazy how far we've come in such a short amount of time. You know what I mean?
Orlando, you were
Crazy.
chasing the gi circuit. You know, you had double gold as a brown belt, Brazilian nationals. But I want to ask you about your history with ADCC. You know, that's got to be your crowning achievement. You're a world champion there. When did it come onto your radar? Like, what was your first experience with ADCC? And then take me through your competition record there as well.
Hell yeah. Okay. So a lot of people have to understand, like, I started jiu-jitsu at 26 years old. I was getting married at the same time, coming off of drugs, and I'm a drug addict, and I'm going to be a drug addict for the rest of my life. I'm sober, but I'm a drug addict, which means my brain is wired as a drug addict. I have massive addiction, compulsion disorders, all that kind of stuff that I understand now that I've been in therapy for a decade. But like for me, when I started competing like right away, and I understood that I wanted to compete, guys like me, and I watched an interview, and I swear to God, I'm the biggest Tyson Fury fan. Tyson Fury and I speak exact same language. He's a drug addict too. I mean, he did the same thing I did. Ballooned to 400, came back down, and then said, "You know what? I'm going to win." You know what I mean? And I honestly, I'm telling you right now, like, I'm not done yet. Like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to win the ADCC someday. And, it doesn't matter age I am. It's just about here. It's about my brain. But going back, I've never got into jiu-jitsu. I never got into jiu-jitsu competition and thought of, like, I want to be fucking 20-time world champion. I want to be 100-time Pan Am champion. I never thought of my resume saying, Orlando Sanchez, 10-time Pan Am champion, 10-time world champion. Like, that was never me. Me, I hit it and I'm out. Like, that's me. Like, I like to achieve shit. Boom, out. Boom, out. That's why I can't believe I stayed with my wife so quickly, because she has something special. Because, you know what I'm saying? I'm in and out, bro. I'm in and out. I'm too short. I'm a player. But like, for me, it was always like, oh, tournament? Okay, I want to go win that shit. Or I want to go beat this guy. Or I want to, like, I beat Leandro Lowe first time I fought him. I was over it. After that, I was like, I don't care about that anymore. Or, I do this. I win this tournament. Oh, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was like, oh, I want to go win. And then there's something about the ADCC that when I first fought it, because of the prestige and just because of, like, the level of competition, and then, like, I fought my first one in Beijing, which was probably the worst one ever. But I had a good showing my first time. That was like my 4th year of jiu-jitsu. I just got my black belt, and I had that 20-minute fight with Cyborg that went 0-0, and he ended up taking it. And then after that, I became really good friends with Mo. Mo Jassim is fucking, man, I love that dude, man. Shout out to Mo Jassim. He's the fucking man. And like guys like him, and then just the history, the history of man, make it as an ADCC champion, there's a different prestige about it, man.
Yeah.
Like there's no lying, dude. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no, you can never deny somebody once they win. I mean, from the first fight to the last fight, all the matches you have in an ADCC tournament are all going to be champs. They're all going to be badass guys, And I think the level of the quality of competition, all that stuff, and it's definitely not the money. The money's, there's tournaments paying way more than the ADCC now, And I don't know. I just love it, man. And what Mo turned it into this last year, man, he finally got me more motivated to start getting in shape again. Because I showed up to this last one, bro, I didn't train once. I was so fat and out of shape. But I still showed up, and you know what I'm saying? Still showed up didn't get any points scored on me. Hey, you know what I'm saying? And but yeah, the ADCC to me is like, it's like a whole like culture, man. It's a whole like, no. It's just something that's very meaningful, that I've always respected, And then all the other tournaments, it's kind of like, after I would win one, like I'd be over it, I'd win a tournament, I'd be over it. So that's kind of like how my competition career went. I would win, and then once I got to black belt, I did a few competitions. I beat some high level guys, fought some high level guys, and I was just kind of over it, And then one thing about me is when I first started jiu-jitsu as a white belt, I knew that I was already late in the game, and I knew that I had to make a living and do jiu-jitsu. So I wasn't one of those guys who just did jiu-jitsu all day. I ran my company, started a gym. I swept the mats, signed people up, made phone calls, cleaned the gis, cleaned the mats. I did everything myself and built my first school. I started teaching as a blue belt. The guy who I was with back then, he was like, "Yo, if you get 15 people to start paying you, we'll lease a space and open you a school." I said, "Cool, man, I'll do it." So I had a little old piece of shit car, and I had stopped selling drugs at the time, so I got rid of my Cadillacs and shit. So I had an old piece of shit car, and I had a bunch of gis in the back and waivers, and then I would go to this karate school in Pasadena, Kid Power Martial Arts, and I would use their mat. And here I am, bro, as a hustling blue belt with a bag full of gis and waivers, and I fucking got 15 people to start paying for jiu-jitsu classes, and I started running classes out of that thing, and that's how I opened my first school.
Okay, I want to talk about you winning ADCC in Sao Paulo, but first I want to go back to a couple things you said there. Number one, you said you beat Leandro Lowe. When did you beat Leandro Lowe?
So I beat Leandro Lowe my black belt day. Actually, my second black belt tournament. So I got my black belt. I went to Chicago. I won all the. There was only one or two fights in the divisions. All the fights. I beat Gregor Gracie in the finals at my debut. In absolute, I fought Gregor Gracie. I pulled guard, and then I swept him, and then I beat him 2-0. And then he fucking bitched me out on the internet for 2 weeks, talking shit to me. But anyways, I love him now. He's cool. Shout out to Gregor. Everybody talks shit about me, man. You know what? And everybody I fight, you know why? And it's funny to me because, Orlando's big and Orlando's strong and Orlando, what does that have to do with anything? There's plenty of guys who are big and strong. I want to see you guys. I want to see all the other big and strong guys go and pull guard on Leandro Lowe or pull guard on Gregor Gracie and then sweep him and then hold him down for 8 minutes. Yeah, let's see if they can do that. You know what I'm saying? So all you motherfuckers talking shit, come see me and we'll see what's up. Anyways, going back to my brain's all off track. Going back, Leandro Lowe, it was in the quarterfinals of the absolute of the Pan Ams when Leandro was killing everybody. I think he was fighting at middleweight at the time, middle heavy or something. He was a little bit smaller, I think, than he is now because I don't think he prayed enough back then. But he was one. I don't know. I think he was middle heavy. But anyways, I fought. He was killing everybody. He was the man, dude. I admired him as a competitor. I was like, this guy's fucking dope. He would come out and jump and do all that crazy shit. And I beat a bunch of good guys in the absolute. I had 3 matches already. This was my first black belt Pan Ams ever. And then I was exhausted, man. I was so tired. I went into the hallway I remember, and I sat down and I started talking. I think it was Homlo and some other GB guys there. And I'm like, I'm gonna pull guard. And everyone's like, what? No, man. No. I said, yeah, man. I'm gonna pull. And everyone's like, no, dude, no, fucking stay on top. You're pressure, blah, blah. I'm like, no, bro, I'm going to pull guard. Watch me. So comes the match, me and Leandro, we come out, boom, shake hands. What do? Boom, pull guard.
You pull guard on Leandro Lowe.
Yeah, I pull guard on Leandro Lowe. And the video's up. The video, you can pull it on YouTube. I pull guard on Leandro Lowe, and then I got my advantages for almost sweeping him because he got stuck in a position. And then I think I pulled guard. I don't remember if I pulled guard on him twice. And then almost got him up. I got up with his leg, and then he ran out of bounds, So anyways, I got my advantages. And then once I got my advantages, I'm like, bro, you ain't never going to fuck with me now. So, and then once he pulled guard and he on top of him, that was game over. I put him on his head, and I started passing and yada, yada, yada. And then obviously, I won they gave me the match. I won the match. And that was my most fun victory, because for me, it's individual things. I love to do little accomplishments, and that was a huge accomplishment for me when I was there, especially doing it my way, pulled guard, so nobody could talk shit to me, right? You're just so big and strong. Well, I pulled guard, I did it, So, anyways, I did that, and then after that, the next fight was against Andre Galvão, and
I remember that.
And yeah, dude, and that was one fights, dude, because it was a battle. You know,
It was ref decision, right?
It was 0-0 ref's decision, and they gave it to him, and the whole place booed. Remember, they had us up on the big screen. It was
classic. That was a classic
It was
match.
classic. It was an awesome match, man. And because I had him like on his head, bent over the whole time, and they said they gave it to him because I was baiting him with the omoplata. You know, I would let him omoplata me, and then I would grab the back of his pants and just smash him like this. So they were saying that, oh, well, he omoplated you, which is bullshit. But anyways, we had an awesome match. It was so much fun. And those are the great memories that I have, you know. It was so fun. Me and Andre had a great time that match. And it was 0-0 and ref's decision. And that was, you know, one of my best. That was my second black belt tournament ever, dude. In the gi. That's 4 years of training. You know what I'm saying? I trained for 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 years. And I beat Leangelo, and then I went 0-0, you know, decision with Andre Galvao in the Pan Am's Absolute, you know. And then and so those are memories that I get to keep forever, you know. And that shit is stays true to my heart, and that's what I have so much love for jiu-jitsu, man.
Were you still just training with Hamano at the time? Like who was pushing you in the gym? Like how are you getting ready for these?
Nobody, man. I wasn't. I don't. Nobody, bro. I trained by myself, bro. I did my shit. I'm the fucking man, dude. That's why you see all these people training 20 hours a day and all this shit. I show up fat with a cheeseburger, and motherfuckers can't score a point on me, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you still, you know what I mean? So it's just it. You know, with me, I've known. Look, if I'm in shape and I'm mentally healthy, I can't be beat. And there's nobody that can beat me in the world, you know. And that's if I'm in shape and I'm mentally healthy. And the problem is a lot of things do not excite me enough to get there, you know. And that's my problem. Is I won the ADCC, so to go through a whole 6 weeks of really pushing myself to try to get ready to go win, like it's kind of like you know what I'm saying? It's hard. That's why. Getting to the top and winning is easy. Once you win, it's harder after that, you know?
Well, speaking of being in shape, you just said that you did ADCC 2019 without training once. What happened there?
I didn't train with men. I have 3 kids, you know, the houses. I got so many things going on, and I just couldn't get there. Plus my mind, you know, like I just explained, my mind is you don't want to be in my head, man. It's a weird place.
Yeah, you look pretty good for not training once.
Dude, not to mention I was about 50 pounds overweight, dude. I couldn't even fucking move, bro. And and still had an awesome fight with Nick Rodriguez. You know, he caught me off guard, that first fucking slap to the back of the head. You know, that was super caught me off guard. And then, you know, but after that, like, man, he had me on the back. He had my back on the floor. I got right back up. And, you know, we pushed the whole 20 minutes or whatever, the whole 10 minutes. And imagine, dude, I didn't fucking train once for that, you know? I haven't done anything. So,
But on that side, man, like you, like, in all honesty, like, you're probably one of the most decorated Americans in that short amount of time that's achieved, like, the highest amount of results. But flipping off of that, like, I think that's a big part of your history. But I think, like, for me, knowing you for a long period of time, and I think you're one of the probably biggest advocates, and you've inspired me, and you've inspired probably a number of people on mental health. And like you were saying, man, you go through a lot of, you've been through therapy for close to a decade, and, you know, you've heard a lot of things, and you've seen a lot of things. Like, what are just things that you face in your head, and things that you think people face that, like, you like to say, hey, you're not alone, and just some of that part,
man,
like the mental health side of it, you know, and addiction.
Oh, dude, I mean, dude, I don't care who you are, you deal with something, you know, whether it be you don't think you're good enough, you don't think you deserve, you know, whether you think everybody hates you, we all deal with something, you know, and it's all traced back to trauma. At some point in our childhood, we were all, you know, something happened somewhere, whether they meant it or not, that kind of skewed the way we look at ourselves or others as we grow up, you know. And to me, I've become such a mental health advocate because what really made me figure this out was because what was it like 2010 maybe, like when I first was doing really good, right? Like I stopped using cocaine and I was doing really well, and my first gym was doing well. I had just gotten married. My wife Trisha was either pregnant or just had my first son, and I realized like nothing was making me happy. Like I didn't feel any happiness. And then that guilt for not feeling that was a motherfucker, right? So what did I start doing? I started trying to destroy my life again. Like started getting into shit, right? Started fucking up my marriage, started doing drugs, sneaking around doing drugs here and there. Like, like going back into that, like trying to destroy myself again. And that was when things changed for me. That's when I stopped one day and when I hit kind of like that wall and said, why am I doing what I'm doing? And that was the biggest question that saved my life, is why am I doing what I'm doing? So if you guys are out there and if anybody's feeling, ashamed or alone or confused and is hurting somebody else, it's not meaning to hurt somebody, cheating, drugs, whatever it may be, and you have a serious look in the mirror and you say, why am I doing this? And because truly you get to a point where you don't know why. You just don't know why. Your body just takes over and you eat shit, and it's like trying to sabotage my own life. So that was about 10 years ago. I asked myself, I said, Orlando Sanchez, why are you doing this? Like you've taken such a good step at becoming healthier and better, and why are you doing this? And that I broke down, and I'll never forget it. I broke down. I was in tears. And my best friend, he's still one of my best friends now, but at the time, Michael Catherwood, shout out to Michael Catherwood, Psycho Mike from Dr. Drew and Loveline and all that. And he's got his own podcast now and stuff. Anyways, he held me by my hand, dude, and I was bawling, crying, dude, crying. Imagine, I'm already a champion. I won all the championships already for 2 years in my jiu-jitsu. Here I am, the baddest dude in the whatever, school, nice car, doing it all, and I was miserable. And I started bawling and crying, and he took me by the hand, dude, and he took me over, and he's like, we got to get you some help, man. And we started looking up some therapists, and I found a therapist, and I started working with my therapist. This was 10 years ago, and I would go in my first therapy sessions. When I first started, I would do therapy sessions a week. And now I do one every 2 weeks to maintain. I look at her more as my life coach now, but yeah, man, it's that crazy feeling of not knowing why you're doing things, or why you're hurting yourself, or why you're hurting other people, or why you're so hurt yourself, or why you're depressed, or all those things that you need to figure it out. And you need help to figure that out, man. You need to talk to somebody who's a professional who can take you back and start peeling the layers off of your life, man. Your childhood, whatever it is that's in it. Because all of us have something, all of us have that little boy or little girl inside of us, that we're either protecting or we're hurting, And now I get to talk like a man and feel comfortable saying that I'm protecting the little boy that's inside of me. We're seeing eye to eye now. And that's a good feeling, But if it wasn't for therapy, man, I'd be long gone, dude. I hurt myself. I would have hurt many other people. It would have been a disaster. And I'm a huge advocate for getting help. I'm a man. I fight. I got tattoos on my knuckles. I got fucked up ears. I'll fucking fight you anywhere, anytime, any place. I don't care. But I cry. I'm vulnerable. I'm not perfect. And I'm always asking for help. I can always get better, And I think that's being a real leader, not just talking bullshit on Facebook and saying you're a leader and doing all this shit. Like, doing is actually being a leader,
Orlando, a lot of world champions we've had on this podcast have expressed the same sentiment, that after winning their biggest title, there's this feeling of emptiness, actually. Did that happen after ADCC? After you won that, did you feel a little bit lost?
Bro, that happens in everything in life. So with me, that is an ongoing occurrence, right? So, for me, it's always hard because my desire to want is much stronger than the desire to have. So the journey of getting things is much more exciting than when I get them. Does that make sense? So, the big multi-million-dollar house or the race cars or, the Rolexes and all that shit that I have gotten in my past and that I thought was like something that was cool and is going to make me happy. Like, you realize it's just all emptiness, man. It's all emptiness until you go back and you peel the layers out of what's going on from within your childhood, from whatever things that have happened that have made you the way you are. There's holes inside of us that we need to fill. Not just fill, because that's what addicts do. They fill with shit, but we need to go out there, cut it open, squeeze the pus out, and then sew it back up. That's how you heal. You know what I'm saying? And that's absolutely right. That's where so many guys get in trouble, so many people, because they don't realize that their addict brain or their, look, if you're training fucking 4 or 5 times a day for 10 years and competing every weekend, you're crazy. Right? You're
not normal.
You're an addict. You're not a normal person, dude. You're an addict. You're an addict. You're an addict. You're an addict, man. I could not stop doing cocaine, ounce of cocaine every day, party coke. That's my addiction driving me, And then when I switched, I got into jiu-jitsu. I did the same thing with jiu-jitsu. Train 2-3 times a day. That's why when a little kid or a teenager or whatever come up to me and say, I'm going to be a world champion, I'm going to do this, I can tell them right away, like, no, you're not. Like, in my head, no, you're not, or yes, you are. Because it's the way you're wired, man. It's things inside of us. And then that's why that sentiment of so many people feel empty inside, because a lot of people are struggling with the same things that I am, but they're not willing to talk about it. They're not expressing, the feelings or whatever shit from the past is hurting them or whatnot, They're just like, oh, I won and I don't feel happy. Well, there's a lot more to that story, you know what I'm saying? And I'm here to say that it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. But make sure you talk to somebody about it, man. It's okay to talk to people. You got to find people that you love and you trust, And especially nowadays, I feel like men especially are not allowed to be vulnerable or to talk to each other, or to express feelings like I'm expressing right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a strange feeling, It's a strange feeling because I have felt like that since I was a child. Everything I do, I want more. Everything I do, I'm over it. I want more. I won the ADCC. Okay, well, and that's why that thing that I said before, like, winning it 10 times doesn't do shit to me. Winning it twice really doesn't do shit to me. ADC is the only thing I like because it's the culture and the people, and I just really enjoy doing, But as far as all those titles, like those, I never got into this to win anything 10 times. I couldn't do that, dude. I couldn't do something 10 times like that. It's like, boom, in and out, next. And then once I got my black belt, I won some tournaments. I beat some good guys. I won the ADCC, and then I was like, okay, well, now what's this? Building businesses. I own 6 academies. I have 3 kids. It just keeps growing. And now I'm involved in something that's going to take me to the next step, and then the next step. My vision in my head is I will become a billionaire businessman, and continue. And even when I get there, I still most likely won't be happy or satisfied, or I will continue to keep pushing forward to achieve more, But I'm doing it in a different way now, in more of a healthy way where I'm open, expressing it, talking about it, etc., So my moral of that little story is get help, man. Talk to people. If you feel empty, you're achieving big deals and nothing is making you happy, that's a dangerous place to be. Because if you don't understand that process, you're going to get in more trouble. You're going to end up hurting yourself. And that's where I say, please talk to somebody, man. Talk to somebody. Find something. I can tell you right now, at the end of the day, whether I go out and I make a deal for $50 million or win another ADCC or what, it does not matter, because I go home and I see my beautiful kids. My baby girl Penelope, my baby boy Oren, and my big boy Orlando Jr., and my beautiful wife. That right there is it, man. I die tomorrow. I did what I had to do. They are my everything, you know?
Orlando, on a lighter note, speaking mentally on a different side of competition, I think when I think of you at ADCC, you and Wagner are the two people that it's like you're not even there. You guys don't feel the pressure. You're having a good time. You talk to me right before you go out and compete. What do you do to relax so much when you compete, just to get in that mindset, to get in the zone?
You know, man, I've lived through hell. I've already seen things that scare me a lot more than another sweaty dude in tight pants. You know, dude, there's nothing in the world. Any person I line up against in an ADCC match, there's nothing in the world that they can do to hurt me. You know, that life hasn't already drug me through the fucking mud. You know, look at right now with the coronavirus stuff. This is hell right now for small business owners, for school owners, for family, you know, for fathers. This is some serious shit. Once you start really living those responsibilities, the tournament scene becomes a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? And you just start having more fun with it. To me, that last ADCC, just stress and fun wise, it was a blast. What Mo did with the production and Seth and those guys, it just felt so fun and so cool, you know, and had to have everybody watching me there. So I don't know. It's just not being able to get, like, when I first started and I had all these goals of winning, like I was so tense and just so like, you know. But now I love to do it. I love to do. It's like going out and sparring to me, you know what I'm saying? Going on the big stage, you know, especially when you become an ADCC champion, you're kind of the shit already. So you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Hey, Orlando, well, what's some of the good stuff that the new generation, they don't understand, that kind of get under your skin sometimes, that you think needs to change a little bit in the sport or the culture?
Man, you know, dude, shit, dude.
Come on, tell me the shit that irritates you.
I'll start. The shit that irritates me, some of the main shit, you know, and we talk about this a lot, Bear, is that whole like sponsorship mindset. This thing like everybody needs to be sponsored, and like kids, you know, are they're just ruining their future professional life by accepting sponsorships for 10 t-shirts or fucking 5 gis. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand. They don't understand this shit. They don't understand, like, bro, if you want to create value for yourself as a young fighter, find a company you like, right? That you like and you support. Buy one of their fucking gis and go win everything. You go win everything, man. And you rock that gi and you say, hey, I shout out to Shoei Roll. I love Shoei Roll. Just saying Shoei Roll. You know what I'm saying? You go do that. You build yourself. You build some value. And then you have some negotiating power. These kids are losing everything, all their negotiating power, by accepting fucking t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Accept 5
but they're
t-shirts.
Instagram famous. What are you gonna do? If they're Instagram famous, what are you gonna do, man?
Dude, there's people with fake sponsorships. There's people that aren't even sponsored who just pretend that they're sponsored by somebody. That's a real thing.
And that's
I've never heard of that. That's doing that.
A lot of color bells out there.
And that's the craziest shit to me, man. It's just crazy because, like, what is it? It's the whole social media. Like, they want to be liked thing, they want to be loved thing. You know, they want attention, they want to be cool. You know, and I think that has changed so much from, like, even 10 years ago when we were grinding. When I was grinding, there was no FloGrappling, there was no Instagram, there was none of that. It was like, remember, like I just said, like Gracie Mag once a month, or actually no, I think it was once every 3 months or something like that. But, you know, I would have my one gi that Bear gave me, and I would say, thank you so much, Bear, oh my God. And I would rock that, dude. I would patch it up, I would press it. It was like golden fucking, you know, my golden ticket. And I would make sure that and I will tell you right now, to everybody out there, Bear did not give me a dime. Not give me a dime until I won, I don't know, what was it? maybe double gold
Double
Brazilian
gold.
nationals.
You didn't get shit. You didn't get shit till you won double gold Brazilian nationals, brown belt being the best in the world. And I think after that,
me and Bear were good friends.
Serious, but
me and Bear were good friends, and me and Bear were always good friends, and we were always good friends, and we loved and respected each other, and I knew that I had to work for it. Nobody wants to fucking work for it anymore, man. Everybody just wants to get it handed to them. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I'm telling you, I just had to help some. I'm not going to name names or gender or anything, but I just had to kick somebody out of my gym not too long ago who was very talented and has won some stuff because the work ethic is not there. There's no work. Like, you lose that work ethic, you that's it. You're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have work ethic, you have nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you're not able to grind and to be humble, if you're going to sit there and tell somebody that, oh, I'm not going to take a class because so-and-so's coaching, or I'm not going to do this because I'm better than them, that kind of attitude is going to fuck your life up. And that's what I see. I see a lot of people that really haven't gotten to anywhere yet, thinking that they're just like, God's gift. And
yeah.
And it's hurting them more than helping them. And that's why I don't want to sound like a dick, but what I try to do is I try to instill the humbleness, like, hey, you got to be humble. People will respect and love you a lot more if you're tough, you're best, you stand up for what you believe in, like me, and anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll fuck you up. But you got to be humble about it, and your work ethic has to match that shit. That's why nobody can say shit to Gordon Ryan. Nobody can say shit to Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan works harder than any other motherfucker out there right now. He's working. He's working 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he talks shit. Yeah, he does all that stuff. But hey, dude, like, he's winning everything. Not only that, he created leverage and created himself as a commodity. He's worth something. He brings value. Why? You don't think Gordon Ryan could have taken fucking 20 T-shirts when he was a purple belt or a brown belt? But no, you never heard of that, right? And now all of a sudden guys are paying him serious money to wear some gis that we've never heard of. And that is power, man. That is people need to learn. You know what I'm saying? As a business mind, that's how people have to treat themselves. You can't just say yes to anybody who comes by and gives you something. You know what I'm saying? That's just devaluing everything we're working for. You got to be picky, man. And you got to take risk and work hard. You got to work hard, man. If you got to eat top ramen, you got to eat top ramen, dude.
But Orlando, you're saying like those two things that you said there, there's two topics. One, people normally jump teams or coaches after they maybe haven't had the results that they wanted, in whatever time frame.
Yeah.
In your mind, you train with some of the best people. What percentage of being with the best team or training partners and the best coach gets you to becoming the best? 10%, 5%, and what percentage?
Oh,
is
dude, it would be, I would say, almost like a 95 to 5, right? Because look, and I'll name it like this. When I was winning all my tournaments, I had already stopped training with Romulo. I never trained with Romulo anymore. After really, like, white belt, blue belt, he guided me. He trained with me. He would always guide me and tell me and stuff. But, like, purple, brown, black and stuff, we didn't really train as much because I was already running my school, running his school, right? Look at guys like Roger Gracie, Braulio Estima. They went out and started their own schools in the middle of nowhere, dude. England. With nobody around. There was nobody. They were not getting challenging sparring rounds. Roger Gracie, when he was winning every fucking tournament in the world, he wasn't getting pushed by 10 black belt world champions in a room with the best coach. No, it was inside of him. It was his work ethic. And that's what I'm saying. You can create it. You can create it if it's in you. You know what I'm saying? If you can create it, you don't have to go and have like the great. And that's what's happening nowadays is everybody's flooding the best teams, but what happens? They realize that that's not going to do it for them, and then they jump ship, and then what happens a lot now too is, you get pushed by a coach or something, and you realize you don't have the work ethic that it takes to become a world champion. Like the Daisy Fresh guys, those guys are monsters, right? They'll work hard. That's the kind of work you got to put in, and a lot of people aren't willing to put that work. So what's easier is to jump ship, to blame coaches. I lost because my coach isn't there, or my coach isn't as good, but come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's why I would say it's 95% inside of you, in your head, and 5%, the people. And one thing that I cannot stress enough is you have to have a mentor, somebody that you love, respect, and look up to. That is more important than a technical coach per se. Most of the time. You know what I mean? Like you look at, Danaher and his guys. There's a respect there that is, amazing. You could see it. You know what I'm saying? You look at Draculino and a lot of his guys. Unbelievable respect. You know what I'm saying? Like those kinds of respects is huge, and then it's all about the person willing to work hard.
Orlando.
And I just think that, yeah.
Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No,
hey,
please.
Let's talk Bear's favorite subject: PEDs in the sport. How bad is it?
Hey,
it's fucking.
Who does them? Who does? You just said you used to do them.
Bro.
Who does them? Who doesn't?
Bro.
Let's talk.
First
real
of all,
talk. Let's talk real talk.
First of all, let me just say this. Someday I should write a book about every person I know, or have factual based evidence that is on some shit. I should write a book. Man, that would be
what
awesome.
Percentage? What percentage? I'm not asking you to call out names. But what percentage are you thinking? Are we thinking like 60%?
It's over 75%, 80%, easy.
What?
Easy, bro. Easy.
But everyone says they're clean. Everyone says they do push-ups.
No,
and,
I'm sorry, and this goes out to these guys who get caught and whatever. Look, I'm somebody who says I've used them before in the past. I used them a lot when I was bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? When I was bodybuilding, of course, that's like, that's what you do when you're bodybuilding. So I know a lot about steroids and a lot about all that stuff. And, I did excessive amounts when I was in my early 20s, way before jiu-jitsu and all that. But you look at, man, it's crazy. I mean, it's rampant. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And what I love is, when people get caught, man, just own up to it. Just say, fuck yeah, I was doing it. I was, but to say, people saying that, oh, it was a tainted supplement or a tainted steak or this and that. That's just ridiculous. Steak. It's ridiculous. Well, no, remember,
it's a supplement.
Frank Mears, remember, he said that he ate kangaroo meat and it had
oh my god,
testosterone in it.
Kangaroo meat.
There's plenty of.
All we care about is the jiu-jitsu guys.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Come on, dude. Come on, guys. Come on. Bro, it's Instagram, bro. Look at pictures. Look at 30, 40
so Orlando, since you know a lot about a lot about bodybuilding, so you know the body very well. And you know about pictures and body. What are signs that we can look in Instagram pictures and photos that are like red flags that they could have been on something? Not saying that they are, but what are some red flags?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe gaining 30, 40 pounds of fucking muscle. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. You know what I mean? That is not, dude. You're not going to eat protein and lift weights and gain 40 pounds of muscle and stay lean. That's not possible, dude. That's not the way the body works, dude. But like I said, man, I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody what to do. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, man. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. And it's all up to them and how they want to treat it and stuff. I just say that it should never, ever be pushed on kids. You know what I'm saying? Be pushed on young kids. Even 18, 19, 20 years old, I think, is too young. You know what I'm saying? Not until you really are able to make the decisions that you want to do in life and really know what you're doing and all that kind of stuff should you be making even those decisions. But if you have a coach or somebody, a mentor who's pushing you to do that, that's wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And I'm against that 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm against it 100%. Yeah. But the problem is you get so many kids, and that's the problem. Is like you get so many kids nowadays, and then look, man. You look at like the poverty-stricken areas in Brazil. You look at the favelas. You look at the things. Then you get these guys who make it out of there, and they come to the big lights, and do the big. What's the common denominator? They see these guys fucking shooting up drugs, and they're like, oh man, well if I train hard and I do steroids, I can go there too. And that's the problem, is that these guys are mentors, and you know what I'm saying? People start looking at them like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's dangerous, man. You know, when people are looking up to you, you have that responsibility, I think. You know, to one, be honest. You know, to be honest with yourself, bro. I can't tell you. My God, I'm just thinking in my back of my head. I mean, how many times I've just seen things with my own eyes and stories, and I mean, it's a lot bigger than you guys think. It's a lot bigger than anybody knows, man. It's a lot bigger than anybody, and it's just so stupid to me to even think that there's a testing anything in the IBJJF when they have one testing. You know who you're gonna test. I mean, it's insane, dude. It's insane.
How long, Orlando, you think it takes to cycle off and pass the test if you're taking steroids?
Well,
How long do you think it takes to clear your system?
First of all, the problem is like these guys, you know, the majority of them don't even know what they're doing when it comes to steroids. You know, they're just taking anything that they can get their hands on. That's how they're getting hurt. You know, second of all, if you're going to take any kind of supplement, steroid, testosterone, anything, I believe that you should be with a doctor. You should be 100% old enough, first of all, and two, you should be guided by a doctor. You know, which is really important. You should always have your blood checked, all that kind of stuff. You know, I do that for my own health now because I abused certain things so much in the past that I have to be checked by a doctor. You know, my blood count and all that stuff. But I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And MMA is like, dude, everybody, man. Everybody. You should have seen before the UFC did the USADA. Oh, my God, dude. I mean, it was in plain view. Like everywhere. You know, everywhere you go, it was like, whoa, dude, it's crazy. Even at the events. Like when people doing their piss tests in events, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty crazy, man. You know, it's rampant, bro. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in the sport.
Orlando,
you know?
So we only got a few minutes left. We do this thing where yesterday's guest does a question for you. Yesterday we had Galvao and JT on, and Galvao, here's Galvao. He had like 3 or 4 questions at once, so we'll play it for you. You can hear what Galvao.
He must like.
All right. Where's that?
I'll ask him like, how's his diet? Okay.
All right.
Because like, if he's like a paleo or if he's like a vegan or.
I don't think he's vegan.
And how come like you know he's probably like the heaviest like heavyweight in the ADCC, but he's so athletic. I want to know like if you got that athleticism from jiu-jitsu, and also like he became like such a high level competitor in a short time. So I want to ask him like what is his diet? I'll ask more than one question. What is his diet? Okay. If how he got the athleticism that he has, and why he compete only ADCC. That's it.
All right, great question. All right, so he asked, "What's your diet? How are you so athletic for a big guy? How you got good so quick, and why you only do ADCC?" I believe those were his questions.
Okay, well, I think we covered them all today. So first, my diet is fucking embryos from I mean, dude, right now my diet is anything. I have no fucking restrictions right now. You know what I mean? Anything right now. When I'm not competing, I'm practicing. Although I keep telling myself I got a diet, and I'm going to come back to the 2021 ADCC and be a different human being. But right now my diet, no real restrictions. I mean, I stick to the same shit. I'm pretty boring, you know. My problem is fucking, you know, my timing of eating and stuff, and that shit keeps me heavy. But lots of rice, lots of chicken, lots of ground turkey. You know, I'm Hispanic. I love the meats and the rice. I'm always meats and rice kind of guy. and lots of eggs. And that was one. And, actually, I don't drink anything but water. Shout out to Urban Water. Shout out to Urban Water. All I drink is Urban Water and eat chicken rice and lots of it. And then 4x4s from In-N-Out with animal fries.
4x4.
Just slip that in right there at the end, huh?
And maybe a pint of ice cream here and there, you know what I mean? Yeah,
I do the same thing, bro.
But,
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
but it's okay. I'm going to pray to the same Jesus that fucking Andre's praying to, and I'm going to come back and kick his ass in ADCC in 2021. I'm going to look like him, too. I have a poster of Andre on my wall. I have a poster of Andre on my wall. I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a poster of Andre. I'm going to move it from my wall. I'm going to put it on my refrigerator. I'm going to put a picture of on that one picture of him in his little shorts with his shoulders all busted out and he's all lean. I'm going to put that picture on my refrigerator. Andre, I love you. I'm going to put that picture on my refrigerator for motivation. I'm not kidding. You see, I'm going to look like you, man. I'm going to call you for some diet tips. And then how did I get quick so fast? That one comes kind of with this other one, like my agility. It's just my God-given talent, man. Like, ever since I was a kid, really weird. I can see things happening before they happen, like sports-wise. Like, if a ball's coming, like, I know which way it's going to go. Like, I feel different vibrations. My agility and my footwork. And what's crazy is I see it in my son, my little man Orlando, and my little man Oren. They have it in their system, this kid. I mean, he can do like one-handed cartwheels and just crazy. My little 2-year-old son runs full speed down a hill with no shoes, full speed, and I think he's gonna eat shit. I'm like, ah, and then he just slows down. Like, it's that footwork. It's that, and I'm Cuban, half Cuban, and a lot of Cubans. Hector Lombard, what's his name? Who just fought? Why can't I just think of his name? The wrestler who just fought.
Henry Cejudo? I don't know.
No, Henry Cejudo's American.
No, the black dude who just fought.
Yoel Romero.
Yoel Romero, yeah. He's Cuban. Hector Lombard's Cuban. Like, we all move very similar, if you've noticed. Like, very athletic, explosive bursts. And that's a very Cuban trait. A lot of Cubans have that in their genes, So I'm very lucky to have that. So for me, that's just genetics, and that's what made me get good so fast, is my mindset. I don't fear anybody. I'm not afraid of anybody. I will fucking stand up, kill, fucking chew anybody's face at any time. And that mixed in with my athleticism and my desire to not lose. My desire to not lose is more than my desire to win. My desire to never lose is more than my desire to win. And that's what made me good so fast, Because I would go out there and I don't care who the fuck I was standing in front of or what belt they were or what, I was not going to lose. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mindset I have. And that's this mindset that my son has, which is cool because I never taught it to him. Those are two of the questions. The other one was, why do I only do the ADCC? Okay. Because it's the only one that is really prestigious. It's the only one that I'm invited to. It's the other ones I got to pay, and you got to go through. And I already won them. I won the colored belt IBJJF Worlds. I won the Pan Ams. I won the Brazilian Nationals double gold. I won every IBJJF one there is to win. So I have no desire for that anymore. And the ADCC is still something special. And he knows. I mean, that's all he does now, So he understands the same kind of feeling I have. It's that prestige. It's that, it's that culture, man. It's that culture that it'll go down in the history books forever, once you win those things. So, Andre, shout out to you, man. Much respect. Keep doing what you're doing.
I can't wait to see this Andre Galvao looking Orlando Sanchez in 2021.
Yeah.
This is
Andre, I need you to send me
scary.
a picture. Andre, I need you to send me a picture so I can put poster on my refrigerator and write. If you can write on it, say, "Hey, don't eat, fucker," right? Something like that. Or right, don't eat, you fat fuck.
We got about 5 minutes left. First thing first, I got to get a question from you for Gabby Garcia on Monday.
Gabby Garcia, I know Gabby very well, and I absolutely love Gabby. I think she gets the short end of the stick on a lot of people. A lot of people fucking hate on her and talk shit about her. But my question for her is is I would have to say, explain to the people, because I think that you are I think Gabby is a very good role model in how to have so many fucking people hate on her and talk shit about her success, right? And she still stays respectful, loving, like a champion. And I want her to me and everybody else, what's her mindset behind that? How can she be so sweet, so loving, and stay so level-headed and focused when so many people talk shit about her? You know, that's what I want to know.
Question.
Shout out to Gabby Garcia.
Question.
Shout out to Gabby Garcia, because I love Gabby. Big hug to you, Gabby. You're awesome.
A great question. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Nice job.
All right, Big O. We got about 3-4 minutes. Little parting shot to your fans here. Let's say something to the people at home before we got to go.
Man, I love you all. You know, I love you all. If FloGrappling decides they like me, you know, if they want to make me a little more famous, then you'll see more of me. You know, I'm not cool enough for FloGrappling, but we'll see. We'll see after this little meeting we have.
Stop! You don't even return my text. You don't even return my text most of the time.
I love FloGrappling. We got some big things in the works, man. My little daughter here's my princess. I got a lot of things in the works, man. You know, we got to get to this coronavirus bullshit. We got to fucking get to the other side of this. We got to save all the jiu-jitsu schools. We got to save the businesses. We got to save all that stuff. I got a lot of big projects coming up that are going to be really exciting to see somebody from the jiu-jitsu world do such big things on such a big level. I'm really excited for everybody to see that. There's one thing I'm going to post on my Instagram, OrlandoGB72. It is a project. I believe it's called Project Angelus or Project Angels. I'll put the right movie on, but look at my IG story. It's from my buddy June, the tattoo artist June. The famous tattoo artist is amazing. He's from downtown LA, and it's something to help out the homeless problem in Skid Row right now. They have no help for COVID-19. They have no anything, guys. So watch my IG story later on, and please help donate. It's a crazy video that I'm going to post, so don't miss that. I'll tag Flo. I'll tag everybody. So please, Bear, if you could share that also. Bear, I love you, man. Thank you for always supporting me. You have been my fucking man since we started. I have shown all my love and respect to you guys at Show Your Roll, and I always will. You guys have always taken care of me. And thank you to everybody. Thank you to my fans. Thank you to people who support me. And guys, one thing that I can say is be real, man. Be real. Be yourself. You don't have to fucking be anybody for people to like you, right? Don't be a fucking whack ass. Don't be a little bitch. Don't be fake. Be yourself. Be your fucking self. And the people who will love you, and the people who will hate you anyways. So fuck them. Be yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. All right? I love you guys. Shout out to Show Your Roll. Shout out to Urban Water. My fucking boys, Urban Water. Shout out to all my people. Everybody that I love. You know I love you. Shout out to my boy, my mentor, Samir. Samir in the house. I love you, man. And everybody else out there. I love you guys. All right?
And something for your haters. Something for your haters. Give something to your haters.
Something to my haters. You guys can never be like me. You will never be me. Never, ever do the things that I can do. You won't even live on the same fucking planet as me. So keep on hating me because I need people to hate me. And just wait until you see what I do next year. If you hate me this year, you hate me last year, just wait till I'm a billionaire and you really fucking hate me for what I'm doing next year. All right?
We love you.
I love you guys.
We love you, Big
Love
O.
you
Thanks,
guys.
Billionaire
See you,
Jiu-Jitsu. All right, Kyle, go ahead and kill it.
Yeah, baby.